The 49ers just broke free agency. This is not what they usually do. They go in and they sign Javon Hargrave to a mega deal. 4-year, $84 million deal for $40 million guaranteed at signing. This is huge. We knew that the 49ers needed defensive line help. That was known by everybody. Nobody saw this. Nobody saw this coming. It was fun to play with. Like, oh man, it'd be great if you could get a guy like Javon Hargrave. But good gosh, they go out and just the biggest news of free agency so far. I think I don't even think it's close. And as we say that, Mike McGlinchey just signed a 50. Mike McGlinchey signs with the Broncos, 5-year, $87 million with $50 million guaranteed. It just happened 10 seconds ago, tweeted out by Ian Rappaport. Things are shaking. We knew today was going to be crazy. We didn't know how crazy. And you almost, again, look at the numbers. They're almost identical. The 49ers chose to let McGlinchey go. You brought in Javon Hargrave, and they're going to cancel each other out almost perfectly. Just on, the cap and all that kind of stuff and the comp picks, like whatever else. Like that's kind of where things are. This is crazy. The 49ers got better today. Considerably. And for all those people out there that are saying, man, why don't the 49ers go and make this big splash, whatever signing? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You got your wish. $21 million a year average for Javon Hargrave, who comes in and, man, let's just be real, okay? He's older. He's 30 years old. He's just turned 30. You're talking about this guy playing for another 2 to 3 years minimum. Now it's a 4-year deal. We'll have to see once the numbers all shake out. Whew, this is crazy now. I was not expecting this to happen. Now, what does this mean for everybody else? One, defensive line. It doesn't matter if it's Steve Wilks, D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh. It's consistent. This team builds up front on the defensive side. You had the number 1 defense in the NFL last year. You bring back Tayshaun Gibson yesterday. You're not losing one starter. You're not losing one. Well, hold on. I'll time out. Samson Ebukam. That's probably the only starter that will not be retained. And it's a possibility he could come back, but I doubt it. You literally are losing Samson Ebukam. That's it. Every other starter across the line, Jimmy Ward, wasn't a starter to start the season. He's probably going to be gone, but this is crazy. I didn't see this, and I'm seeing a lot of like Kinlaw, whatever. I don't think that this affects Kinlaw whatsoever. What this does change is you're not dependent upon Kinlaw now. Like if you cut Kinlaw, you get nothing. If you trade Kinlaw, you don't get any cap relief. Well, you would, but nobody's going to trade for that contract. I just don't see it. So I don't think that this means Kinlaw's gone. I think that this means Kinlaw's not starting, right? You got Eric Armstead. You've got now Javon Kinlaw. Holy freaking cow, man. This is just about as fun as can be. And the 49ers, good gosh, not only do you get better, this is another thing that I think is kind of missed in free agency. You took the best defensive player last year, one of the top 2 best defensive players on the Eagles, who beat you in an NFC championship game. You took him, and now he is on your team, right? So not only do you get better, but they got worse. I think that is just so important. And so, golly, man, this is the 49ers go out. Credit to John Lynch, credit to Kyle Shanahan. What they were able to do was just insane. And if we look at, I'm just opening up all of Javon Hargrave's just numbers and all that stuff. The dude's played 7 years in the NFL. He was a little bit older whenever he came in, just over 23 years old. He was drafted in the 3rd round, played, drafted in the 3rd round out of South Carolina State. We got a lot of South Carolina guys. This is South Carolina State, not the Gamecocks. Drafted in the 3rd round. He played for Pittsburgh and was great. Absolutely great. Played his entire rookie deal there. Stayed in the Keystone State. 3 years with Philadelphia. I'm curious what that contract was. He signed a 3-year, $39 million contract in Philly. Outshine that by a margin, okay? By a considerable margin. Then now he comes over to the 49ers, and if we just look at what he's been able to accomplish since he was in Philly. Listen to these sack numbers, okay? All right. We're going back to 2016, his rookie year, okay? First year, 2 sacks. Second year, 2 sacks. Third year, 6.5 sacks. And remember, this is from a defensive interior position, okay? This is not an edge guy. You have to justify these numbers on a completely different shelf because it's different. He's going through the interior. It's much harder to get sacks. So 2 sacks, 6.5 sacks his third year. Goes last year in Pittsburgh, 4 sacks. Then first year in Philly, his 5th year, 4.5 sacks. 7.5 sacks his 6th year. And then last year, 11 sacks. Made the Pro Bowl in 2021. More importantly than this, the health of Javon Hargrave. All 7 years in the NFL, he has never played fewer than 15 games. 15, 16, 16, 16, 15, 16, 17. He has missed 1 game in 6 years. That's it. 1 game in 6 years. So for all the people that are like, oh, health, whatever else, this dude has it in spades. You're talking about an NFL Iron Man for 7 straight years. So if you are talking about, well, he's older, I get it. That's a legit criticism, and I understand that. But if you are looking at this in any other way besides the fact you got better, you got one of the best players in the NFL at his position. 2 years ago in 2021, through the first 6 weeks of the season, I remember, I'll have to go back and find the tweet. I'm sure I have it out there somewhere, where I said, man, Javon Hargrave would be my defensive player of the year through the first 2 months of the NFL for Philly. Like, he was that good. He played next to Fletcher Cox. Now he's going to be playing next to Eric Armstead. You are freaking solid. You are so solid. Now you just got to get that other defensive end spot short up. But, man, this is huge. This is absolutely huge. The Niners getting this guy 4 years, $84 million, $21 million per year. We're going to have to see how these numbers shake out. But this is gigantic. I love this.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.